on there. So thank you, everyone who is tuning in today. I do appreciate it. This is AMs with Annette. This is your weekdays live stream, 11 a.m. weekdays. At the current point in time, I am covering UK business and coronavirus updates, as I have been doing each weekday now for a number of weeks. This is episode number 31 of AMs with Annette, the UK business and coronavirus updates. So thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Annette Ferguson. For those of you that don't know me, I am a CEO of Annette & Co, UK-based accounting firm. I am a chartered accountant and certified Profit First professional, and I help business owners take home more money from their business for them and their families to enjoy. Of course, at the moment, that is incredibly challenging for many, many business owners, and that is why I decided to start AMs with Annette weekdays at 11 a.m. to support you both during this time and, of course, beyond as well. So thank you for everyone who's hopping on. What I am covering today are the UK business and coronavirus updates. So all things the economies, the support, governments, the industry, different industries, all those kinds of things. So thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Thank you, Megan, thank you, Roy, thank you, Meg. I appreciate whichever channel you are tuning in. Good morning, Frank. Thanks for joining me again. It's lovely to see you with me again today. I do appreciate that. So whichever channel you are on, whether you are on TikTok, Instagram, Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, or you are in or YouTube, or within the Uncover Wealth community, my private Facebook group. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Good morning, Sean. As always, lovely to see you. Good morning, CJ. Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Very much appreciate when people hop on and say hello to me as they join, because it makes a big difference to know who I am chatting to. So thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. And if you are a regular to these sessions and you know that you enjoy and get value from what I share, then I would love if you want to share this video out to your followers, your friends, your subscribers, your fans, whichever terminology is on the platform that you are using. And always, as always, of course, I appreciate the hearts, the loves, the thumbs ups, all those good things, again, depending on which platform you're using and which terminology is used there. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Good morning, Yahya. Thank you for tuning in today. Very, very much appreciate it. So a few things that we have to cover off today. First of all, we are hearing that Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, is going to end new applications into the UK furlough scheme. This is, of course, off the back of the fact that furlough, as it currently stands in its current form, will run up to the end of July, and then there will be alterations from August to the end of October. The purpose of that is to try and start getting the workforce back to work to stimulate the economy, of course. And so what will happen between August and October is that there will be some kind of situation where the employer pays something towards the furlough and the government pays something towards it as well. And then employees can work part-time as well. The nuances and the individual small print of this scheme are not yet announced. They are due to be announced. We are hearing next week that we will hear the finer details to that scheme. But what we are hearing ahead of this is murmurings from the Treasury that there will be an end to new applicants joining, because they don't want new applicants to join during this sort of part-time phase. And the reason is that they don't want people who are full-time, who have full-time employees, then putting them on furlough during the part-time period and then bringing them back to work part-time. That goes against the entire ethos of the system. So they want to make sure that it is working in the way it's intended. And that is why they are announcing that at some point soon they will end new applicants into the furlough scheme. So that is something to note. If you have employees you are considering furlough, then you want to be very aware of this. We haven't got the exact date of when that will be. Some people are saying it may be at the end of June. Some are saying it may be the end of July. We just don't know for sure, but that is something to watch for, and I suspect that will be announced as part of the fuller announcement that is due to come on the finer details of the extension of that furlough scheme. So something to watch out for there as time moves on with that. So thank you so much for joining me, Mark. Thank you very, very much for joining me, Kit Kat. Thank you, Big T. Thank you, Harry. Thank you for your kind words. I am very, very grateful of those. So thank you for that. Hello, G Money. Thank you for tuning in today. I do appreciate everyone that tunes in. I very, very much appreciate you hopping on. I very much appreciate your time, and thank you for doing that. I love all the hearts, all the loves, all the thumbs ups, whichever platform you're on and whatever that is called in your world that you are watching in, then I do very, very much appreciate. So thank you so much for that. So the UK economy, independent economists have calculated that the UK economy faces a 5% annual deficit by 2024. There are suggestions that the pandemic will leave lasting scars on the UK's prosperity and public finances, with Conservative MPs urging the Chancellor not to raise taxes or cut public spending. These growth predictions will raise fresh questions over how they will finance the emergency measures taken to battle the pandemic. Of course, I've been speaking about this for a number of weeks now, that battle between spending cuts and tax rises versus stimulation of the economy, and the two don't typically go hand in hand. So how we balance this, whereby there is a huge hole now in the government purse, and how does that actually get repaid and plugged? Typically, that would be tax rises, that would be cuts in public spending. However, those are not measures that stimulate an economy. So that balance is going to be an incredibly difficult one for the Chancellor, for the government to tackle, and a very, very difficult tightrope for them to walk. So that is, but that is the situation we are in. This pandemic has cost the UK, some estimates are saying, all in all, with every area, potentially £1 trillion. So incredibly hard hit in the purse strings of the country, of course, as well as the health aspects too. So very challenging times ahead for the UK economy, without a doubt. There's calls for a rental sector 3-month moratorium. There's calls for an extension to the 3-month moratorium on rental sector evictions. At the current point in time, the private rental sector evictions the moratorium goes up to the end of June. There are calls to extend that. Of course, we have heard that the mortgage holidays are being extended for an additional 3 months, and therefore there are calls to do something similar for evictions under the rental sector. In recent weeks, Shelter, the housing charity, has said it is in a huge surge in demand from people who previously had stable finances but now have lost their jobs and are unable to meet rent payments. Of course, we know that the number of job losses is going to increase without a doubt over the next few weeks and months, as furlough comes to an end, gets adjusted, as businesses readjust and open and realize that the demand may be less, that they just don't have those roles anymore that they previously had in their workforce. Of course, coming into this pandemic, coming into this crisis, we had an incredibly high level of employment in the UK as well. So there's going to be a readjustment as we come out of the pandemic, as we are in a recession. There's always an adjustment to jobs in a recession, and this one will be no different. There will be an adjustment there. So there are people that are, of course, in incredibly difficult and precarious positions now. Unfortunately, that is likely to increase as well. Charlotte, thank you so much for tuning in. Lovely to see you back. Marianne, thank you for joining me. I do very, very much appreciate it. Hello, Lewis. Hello, John. Hello, Jonathan. Thank you for tuning in. I very much appreciate you tuning in. It means a lot to me. This is your UK business and coronavirus update, weekdays at 11 a.m. AMs with Annette. So thank you for tuning in, whichever platform you are watching on today. I very much appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you hopping on with me. The statutory sick pay system has now officially launched, so that if you have had employees who have been sick over this period of time, you can now reclaim that statutory sick pay. Of course, statutory sick pay historically has worked that it is a credit to your PAYE and national insurance account with HMRC. That has changed with coronavirus, and you'll get physical payment back for statutory sick pay paid out. So that system is now open for submissions. That was opened on the 26th. So if you are in that position where you had employees who have been on sick pay, please do go in and claim that back, that sick pay back that you have already paid out in most instances. So that is open for you. I'm going to take a drink of my tea. Any questions that you have, of course, please do answer those. Ask those in the comments. I would love to answer any questions on this that you might have on UK business. I do not cover anything on the health side of things, and I do not cover anything on the politics side of things, but I am here to answer things on UK business. So please do ask any questions that you may have. CJ, thank you for your kind words. I very much appreciate that. I very much do. It means a lot to me, people's kind and positive words that come in, their likes, their loves, their hearts, their thumbs ups, all those things mean a massive amount to me. So thank you so much. I do very much appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Pierre, thank you for tuning in. Sizzle, thank you for tuning in. T-Bush, Sicraft, London, thank you for joining me. I very much appreciate it. So SMEs in the UK are likely to see a revenue fall totaling around 28% in Q2 as a result of the pandemic, according to studies. There are nearly 75% of firms expect the crisis to have a significant impact during the period. So if you are looking at a strategy, if you are looking at how you might be progressing forward at this point in time with your business, those are interesting numbers to be looking at. So a fall in 28% in Q2. What would that mean if you did have in your business a fall of 28% revenue in Q2 compared to your standard revenue level? What impact would that have on your business, and what would you need to do as a result of it? So understanding that is going to be really important for a number of businesses. Understanding what happens strategically in a business during a recession, incredibly important to understand. Incredibly important to understand what may happen in your industry during a recession. What might that look like for your business? If you're not spending time working on this stuff at the moment, you're going to not be in the strongest position you can be going forward and coming out of the crisis as lockdown eases, etc., etc. So really make sure you are clear on what your strategy is going forward, on what that might mean during a recession, and on what that might mean with research showing things like a 28% drop in revenues in Q2. Retailers are warning that the reopening of non-essential shops in England from mid-June will not end the sector's woes. The British Retail Consortium has estimated that non-food retailers have lost sales totaling £1.8 billion. They predict that there will still be a fight for survival once lockdown ends. This ties into something that I've been speaking about again for the last few weeks, whereby as retailers open, they're going to have a number of things against them. So online purchases, people have started to get used to buying online. They may find it's more comfortable to do that than go into a retail shop. They might just feel safer, reducing the footfall to the retailers. There's also going to be increased costs of things like PPE. There is going to be increased cost of screens, floor markings, signage, all those kinds of things that the retailers are going to have to put in place. There is going to be social distancing measures, which in itself will reduce footfall, meaning that only a handful, perhaps even only one person can be allowed in a retail premises at the time, depending on the size of premises. So that's going to hit independent small retailers the hardest. With that, there's potentially obsolete stock now as well that retailers have. So having to restock, having to buy new stock, and not being able to do much with obsolete stock. And of course, we know that quarterly commercial rentals are due in the next week or so as well. So retailers are really incredibly hard hit at the moment. It's going to be a very, very challenging time for them to reopen, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do manage to cope with that. Now, let's hope, of course, that they do. We don't want to see the fall of the UK high street, but it is going to be very, very challenging for a number of retailers. Still, the reopening does not, unfortunately for them, mean that it's all over. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Let me know if there's anything you are wondering about UK business and coronavirus and the situation that we are currently in. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. And of course, I'm here at weekdays at 11 a.m. 4 a.m. with Annette, UK business and coronavirus updates every weekday. Whichever channel you are on, I am here to support you, to help you at this point in time. And part of that is with me doing these lives. Now, if you are not already in the Uncover Wealth community, I would love if you want to join me in there. It is my private community on Facebook. You just need to put Uncover Wealth Community into the search bar and you'll be able to find us. So please do come and join me in there. This week, I am running sessions each day. The Wealth Lab, it is called, Building Your Implementable Profit Plan. We are looking at the strategy of building out your business for the future that is going to ensure that you are profitable, ensure you are able to take home good money from your business. And we are looking at how we do that even during a recession, even as we come out of a pandemic crisis. So do join me for that. I would love to have you inside the Uncover Wealth community for that all this week. And of course, there is exclusive content in there as well. I do training sessions every Tuesday, Training Tuesday, in the Uncover Wealth community too. So I would love to have you in there for that as well. Thank you everyone who has tuned in today. I have covered everything that I want to cover today. So I do appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate your time. I know it's incredibly precious. So thank you for spending some of it with me. I appreciate your love, your hearts, your thumbs ups, all those good things. And of course, your kind words that many of you write in the comments, send me in DMs. So I do very, very much appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys same place, same time tomorrow.